If you really pay close attention and not be biased or fearful, you can clearly see that this whole pandemic is being rolled out in coordinated phases. If you remain objective, you would see that none of this makes any sense. None of this adds up to the science. None of this backs up any of this bullshit Chinese virus. Or should I say, the Great Reset.
Get a job, be a slave, pay your taxes, what the fuck?
Phase 1, drop it on the world and give us all kinds of confusing information. Make us believe anything at this point and scare the shit out of the world. Decimate small businesses and make the populace reliant on the government's titty for milk money. Phase 2, telling us the number of infections, but not deaths. Use the media to fearmonger and turn the populace against each other. Continue to decimate small businesses so the general public will have no choice but to continue to suck the government's titty for milk money. Just look at what's happened since Trump has become president. He's boot-fucked the Trans-Pacific Partnership into the goddamn stratosphere. He got rid of the Paris Accords, he's renegotiated NAFTA, and he's pretty much put a stop to socialism in the United States, which unfortunately here in Canada is still steamrolling right through. This is all just Agenda 21 playing out. They got busted. We sidetracked them on a couple of things. So the world's elite have had to reintegrate their plan, the PlanDemic, the Great Reset. None of this is about public safety, man. Back in March, Dr. Fauci said that masks were useless. Even on the CDC website, they say that masks are absolutely useless and actually cause more harm than good. All the mask is to see who's compliant and who isn't compliant. We've seen every major politician that is pro-mask show their hypocrisy and get caught not wearing masks and breaking social distancing rules that they actually initialized. I said back in May that we were going to start seeing fines for people just going to the park. People thought I was crazy. And then magically, what happened? These $850 fines started showing up. Yeah, right? Like I'm like a mind reader and shit. And they're going to start extending even more emergency powers and taking more of your rights away. Here's a funny, fun fucking fact for you. Did you know that the Trudeau government is spending billions and billions of dollars on quarantine centers? Yeah. This is all a matter of public record, by the way. They're actually tendering them out to professional contractors, people that build professional prisons, to build and run to house us here in Canada. And when you think that Trudeau has already purchased 37 million syringes and 37 million doses of an experimental Wuhan flu vaccine made in, wait for it, yeah, China. You can't make this fucking shit up, man. And hey, did you hear Dr. Tam in that news conference when she said that she is not above ruling out a social credit system like they have in China to keep the people that refuse the vaccine under control? Quarantine centers, submission, control, vaccine. The idea is, and I'm going to paraphrase Dr. Tam here, if you don't take the vaccine, you can't go to work, you can't go to shop, you can't go to a restaurant, you basically can't leave your goddamn house until you submit. And let me tell you something, man, it would serve you real good to start paying attention to what these politicians are actually saying. It is subliminal programming, what's happening right now, letting you slowly know what the new normal is. And you know what? Fuck that. Fuck the new normal. In my opinion, we're seeing a complete dictatorship roll out throughout the entire world without even one shot being fired. You know why? Because we're too afraid to take off the mask. But a few of us that aren't afraid to express our concerns or to raise our voice are fighting back. Look, at this point, we know the science does not back up any of this authoritative bullshit. Just imagine if we all started complying. What do you think they could do? What do you think they would do? They wouldn't do anything. There's more of us than there is of them. They need us divided. No, they need and want us divided. Why do you think these riots are happening right now? Why do you think there's so much racial hate being stirred up in the media? Why do you think there's COVID? Why do you think the world is burning right now? And look, I'm not saying that we take these deaths, the actual real deaths of COVID, carelessly or inhumane. But we don't destroy the world for a disease that has a 99.6% chance of recovery. How does destroying the world's economy and millions of people's lives fight COVID? None of it makes any sense. None of it. It doesn't make any sense. Why don't we report other deaths the same as we report COVID? Does that seem a little strange to you? Why don't we report cancer infections or missing children or suicides the same way that we report COVID? In Canada, we have over 400,000 fentanyl deaths every single year and hundreds of thousands of ODs. There are millions of deaths attributed to prescription drugs every single year. Let me reiterate that for you one more time. There are millions of deaths attributed to prescription drugs every single year, but no epidemic, no pandemic. I got nothing. 9.6 million people died from cancer in 2018 because I couldn't get the 2019 numbers yet because they probably all died of COVID. That's 1 in 6 deaths due to cancer. Why isn't this an epidemic? Doesn't this sound like a pandemic? You know why? Because that would hurt the pharmaceutical industry, and we can't do that now, can we? And tell me something else. When you found out that the world's government were inflating the COVID numbers, how did that make you feel? When you found out that all these numbers were bullshit, did you wonder why? When they intentionally gave us wrong information on masks, when they intentionally gave us wrong information on how severe COVID is, when they intentionally put people that were really at risk of COVID in life-threatening situations, how did that make you feel? I mean, seriously, what real doctor would have thought about putting people that have COVID in with the elderly and the sick? This is supposed to be the disease to end all diseases. And they put him in with the sick and the elderly? You know, that sounds like fucking first-degree murder to me. Exactly. Have you ever wondered why so many doctors, and I mean real doctors, not these government-paid fucks, are getting banned on every single platform every time they speak out against COVID-19? Actual practicing doctors that have more experience in dealing with viral infections and diseases than Dr. Fauci or Dr. Tam. These doctors are not only being ignored, they're being trashed and their lives are being destroyed for telling the truth. Why do you think this is happening? Because if it's not true, nobody gives a shit, right? What else I find hilarious is when people say they believe the science, yet they don't listen to any of the scientists. Bill Gates, Justin Trudeau, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Dr. Tam, Chris Cuomo, and all these idiots on CNN are hypocrites. And these idiots on CNN and MSNBC, they are not doctors. They are not people that you get your COVID advice from. Over 40,000 doctors and health technicians and practitioners have signed a petition against the lockdowns. The WHO has also said the lockdowns are detrimental, that it's not helping. You can't even speak out against COVID anymore. It's now being called, wait for it, hate speech. Holy fuck. You even speak out against the restrictions and lockdowns that are destroying the world. It's a straight up attack on liberty. You can't even talk about this shit anymore. And the truth, the real truth is that COVID-19 is not killing people. Weak immune systems are killing people. Doctors giving bad advice are killing people. The tests are rigged. The death count is false. Masks are useless, and hand sanitizer is weakening people's immune system and making them sick even further. The government and the media are full of shit and fear-mongering as usual. But I do believe, though, that we're coming to a turning point with this whole Wuhan flu, though. People are starting to wake up around the world and questioning just what in the hell is actually going on. No jobs, no future. No freedom, no future. Now, you might say to yourself, well, Sean, why would they do all this? Well, I would encourage you to read everything that you can on the Great Reset. This is the old Agenda 21, which is now called Agenda 2030. This is the plan to reset the old world order. This is the world's elite's reattempt at Agenda 21. I'll do a vlog in a couple of days specifically on the Great Reset or Agenda 2030. Again, formerly known as Agenda 21. Forget what you think you know about Agenda 21 and read the actual documents. It's horrifying. When you find out and educate yourself what's really going on in the world, their plan to depopulate the world. You heard that, right? That's what Agenda 21 is. You didn't know that? Yeah. Depopulate the world. That means you. That means your kids. It means your friends, your family, your mother, your father. And I'd also tell you something else right now. You really need to read up on this bullshit. There's a ton of really good videos, ton of really good literature out there. Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, and the Great Reset. And I'd like to take a quick minute here to give a big shout out to all the brave women and men on the front lines out there at all the freedom rallies. You fuckers are awesome, man. Keep fighting and make North America great and free. Well, that's it for me. I'm Sean Strife. Click that notification bell, leave a comment, hit that like button, and smash the shit out of that subscribe button. And join me next time where we're going to talk about more shit that we're not supposed to talk about. That's right, you heard me. I said smash that subscribe channel.